So I'm gonna ask you a dumb question, mainly because this is what I recommend all my clients. FBA is a must, no matter what, for several reasons. If you're a new seller, and I mean, let's face it, it's not easy to be an Amazon seller. I mean, it's a very complex marketplace, and all the policies and procedures and all the rules and not to mention the competition, the data, the analytics, and the processes. So there is a lot of learning to do. So I say to them, your most important challenge in selling online, not just Amazon, in selling online, is demand planning. Because of two reasons. Number one, you can't learn it over time. I mean, you can't learn it overnight. It's going to take a long time, not a few weeks either. You're going to need that whole year to learn what kind of a demand your products are getting. And you're going to have to spend a lot of time and build infrastructure to be able to project what it is that you are able to turn over. The second thing is, that's what takes the most cash, right? I mean, you can talk about your advertising cost, your FBA fees, and Amazon commission, but it doesn't matter. What takes the biggest chunk from your top line is the cost of the merchandise. So that's why that's the most important. So I say to them, what do you want to do with your time and your resources? Do you want to invest it to this most important piece where you really nail it down and you create your infrastructure and focus on that? Or do you want to start multiple businesses for demand planning and customer service and fulfillment and blah, 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 blah? So therefore, I say to them, start as a new seller, start with FBA, send everything, and learn exactly how it is going. So that's one reason. The second reason is, well, let's face it, FBA listings versus FBM listings. Which one converts better? Right? FBA, obviously, there are a lot of, I don't know if you have any numbers about how many Prime members there are in the US alone. I mean, that's a lot of people that obviously they're going to go for the FBA one. So therefore, I say, don't waste your time with FBM, even if you're using a 3PL. And the icing on the cake is the cost. Regardless of what, you're going to pay the Amazon fee anyway for the commission. But if you ship it yourself, it's going to cost you a lot more than what Amazon charges you in FBA fees. So when you put this whole thing together, is there a case to be made for FBM? Unless it's a high ticket item like several $100s. What is your take on my approach?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few categories that, are not allowed in FBA, or that just are, are not a good fit, be it heavy, bulky, or, sure, you can take out insurance policies on very expensive luxury items. But really, if you think about FBA, one of the things that I always felt was the biggest value is Amazon is the best at predicting what will it take to meet the customer's expectations, right? They have the largest network of shipping throughout the US. And so they're the best and the most accurate at predicting, for example, if the customer expects this in 2 days, what will it take to get it there in 2 days, right? Maybe your 3PL, it says that you pay for 2-day shipping, then we're going to ship it 2-day shipping. Maybe they don't have the data points to predict, will it actually get there in 2 days? Or maybe they do, but it doesn't change their process. If you paid for 2-day shipping, so that's what you're going to have happen to your order, right? Whereas what Amazon looks at is, what's the likelihood that this won't get there in 2 days if I pay for 2-day shipping, right? And automatically will make that assumption or that prediction and up the service, no additional cost to you, the seller, but ensuring that they're preserving their standard, their high bar in terms of the right product to the right place at the right time. So
Yeah.
some of that prediction means, I'm forecasting there's a shutdown terminal in the Midwest right now because of, the storms that are over there, and I need to have this upped, right? But it's not a human that's making that decision, right? It's an algorithm, it's a robot that's putting a
Right.
label in that split second right before it goes out the door. So those are some of the magic that's happening in FBA is helping. If you think about it, it's preserving the chances that something will go right. It's ensuring against something will go wrong, right? So you're kind of outsourcing in a lot of ways some risk that if you're an beginning out on Amazon Marketplace, you can't afford to sometimes make a mistake, right? Be it in shipping or be it in your listing, you have to, put your best foot out there always. And so, yes, if you can afford it and your category is allowed and, you can make a living doing it, then absolutely I'm all for, starting with 100% FBA. But a lot of times I'm faced with a seller that, needs to make some compromises and decide, which SKUs do they put in and which do they not? And then after that, it's, how much do I inbound and how to do that. So certainly then, we get into like there's a whole level of how to kind of comply with FBA and make sure that you're doing, inbound shipping correctly. But yeah, some of the points that you hit are spot on. Like, it's difficult for us to make the case that you could ship it as fast for the same cost. But with that said, inventory management is really crucial. This is not a cold storage, as Amazon's made it very clear, it's not a long-term storage solution. It's really for products that are selling,
Mhm.
off the shelves.